Before we get too embroiled in what Word can and can't do and how we're going to make it do the things we want it to do, it's worth just having a little interface tour just to give you an idea of where things are. Now, as far as Word's concerned, it works pretty much like all the other applications in the Office suite, in that we have across the top the title bar, and in here you'll have the name of the document you currently have open. Top left, we have the quick access toolbar, and we explore that separately. Top right, we have the close, maximize, / restore, minimize, clever little option here that we'll look at shortly, and the help options. On the next line down, we have the ribbon tabs. So you can see here all the tabs that belong to the ribbon. And obviously these tabs are specific to Microsoft Word. The main tabs here are Home, Insert, Design, Page Layout, References, Mailings, Review, and View. When Microsoft changed to the ribbon layout away from the old menu system, the idea was that each ribbon would contain a grouping of logical elements. So on the Home ribbon, we see the clipboard, so everything to do with cut, copy and pasting, a whole section here on font, a whole section on paragraphs, a whole section on styling, and a whole section on editing. So you'll find that each of the tabs within your ribbons have these groupings. So if we pick the Insert one as an example, it has groupings for pages, tables, illustrations, apps, media, links, comments, header and footer, text, and symbols. So it's meant to be logically broken down. Separate tabs for main groupings, and then within each tab we have some subgroupings, and those are listed across the bottom of each of those groupings. Within each of the groupings you then see the icons for the item that you're trying to achieve. Some of those icons are bigger than others. For example, these are quite small and these are larger, just the way that the ribbon lays itself out. So we have a number of ribbons, and we can see later that we can add ribbons and we can remove ribbons, or we can not display ribbons. And we can even customize these ribbons as to what icons are on each one, much further down the line, obviously. There is also a file option. Now in the file option, we see what has traditionally been referred to as the back office. Now in here, first thing we see is the info. So it's info about the current document. So we see its properties, any related dates, related people, related documents, and then versions and inspection options. We also have an option for new, which opens another little window to allow us to create a new Word document. There is an open option that allows us to access different drives and therefore different documents on those drives. There is a save option. This is the only option in this list that when you click it, it saves the document but shows you nothing because it's just saving the document. Save as, however, does show you something, because we're going to save it potentially with a new name, potentially in a new location. There is a print option, which is an amalgamated print preview on this side and print settings on this left-hand side. So there's a lot of information in one place there. There is a share option, should you wish to share your document on the internet, online, in a blog, or just simply email to people. There's an export option to save your document in a different file type. There is a close option, which just closes the document. So there's no dialog boxes to be had unless the file has some saves to be made, in which case you will get, do you want to save the changes before it closes. There is an account option that we'll explore shortly, and then there is an options dialog which brings up a separate dialog box, which is our options, again to be explored separately. So that's the file menu. It doesn't really contain a ribbon, it does pop out a list of choices, of which everything except the save and the close pops out further choices. If, having been in here, you actually don't want to choose anything, you can click the little back arrow there to take you back to your document. In the middle of the screen we have your document, which we can scroll up and down between, and at the bottom we have a status bar that will tell us how many pages our document contains, how many words. It will tell us if the spell checker is run. It will tell us what English the document is in. This is in English United States. There is even a record macro option down here. There are different view options on the right. And there's a zoom scroller, so I can actually zoom in and out of my document by clicking the plus and the minus or dragging the arrow. So it moves that slider, so go back to 100%. Now you can also zoom in and out using Control and your mouse if it contains a wheel. So I can hold down the Control key and scroll the wheel, and that will zoom me closer in and further away from your document. So there's lots of ways of zooming in and out, including going to the View ribbon and choosing zoom options from here, 100%, one page, multiple pages, page width. So you can actually zoom in to different sizes. So I can see the page width, so it makes the whole page fill the screen, or one page, so I can see the whole page on the screen. Obviously that's zoomed in quite far away, or 100%. So 100% represents the piece of paper that I'm going to print on. Now with the ribbons, we can actually hide these if they're not something you use all the time. If I double click any one of the tabs, then the ribbon actually auto hides, and I then can bring my mouse up and click, let's say for example, insert, which then causes the insert options to pop down, but only temporarily, because once I've chosen something, or if I click away, then that tab's information disappears again. So I can go on references, and that pops down. As soon as I've actually chosen anything or click away, it disappears. Now there is a way of bringing those back so that they're fixed permanently, and that is just to double click any one of them again. That then fixes it on, and you saw the document move down slightly. Now that same option and a third can be accessed from this little icon here, ribbon display options, where we can show the tabs and commands, which is what we have now, or just show the tabs. You can see that does as the double click did, or a third option, which is to auto hide the ribbon entirely. And that takes the whole ribbon away, but you can get it back by coming right to the top of the screen and just clicking. You can see that that then brings the ribbon back into play with whatever your last setting was. Double click brings my options back. So the ribbon's customizable in what you see on the screen using that little pop down there, or auto hide the ribbon, show just the tabs, or show the tabs and commands. So hopefully that's been a nice little tour of the interface, and as we work through, it will then become easier and clearer to find the things that you want, or to do the things you need to do with your Word documents.